Hold on, because what started as a political talking point has now turned into a full-blown reality check, and social media is absolutely on fire right now.
Hey y'all, just coming through right quick. Listen, your president on something hot, y'all. He actually thought black people were gonna go out there and farm the land. Now he figured he better get those that he deported back over here so that they can work the field. Black people ain't doing no stuff like that.
White people in real time come on this platform with the realization that SNAP benefits is the same thing as food stamps and EBT. It's quite comedic. I can't lie. It's a little funny. And not funny, haha, funny, weird, because they did the same shit with Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act. They didn't realize that they were one and the same. Just two different names. SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, EBT, food stamps, they're all the same, just different. You know, one is just like the government official name. I don't know. That's the thing about racism and being racist. It's a sickness. It's a disease that's generational, if we're being quite frank. And y'all don't want to heal from it. Y'all don't want to get better because you feel like you can stand on some imaginary pedestal instead of, I don't know, instead of allowing everyone to get benefits that make all of our lives better. You will cut off your nose to spite your face. You will shoot yourself in the foot in the name of making things difficult for a demographic that you just don't like, for something that they can't change, their skin. But then you don't realize you're hurting yourself too.
Over the last few days, thousands of people online have been reacting to reports that American farmers are now struggling to find workers after mass deportation policies pushed many immigrant laborers out of the fields. And the internet? Oh, they did not hold back.
I want to take a moment to say thank you to Donald Trump, not out of praise, but out of truth. Because while you rip through every part of this government, tearing down justice, equality, and fairness under the fake excuse of fighting DEI fraud, what you're really doing is confirming what black folks have been saying for generations. America was built on racism, fueled by fear and sustained by white supremacy. You've exposed it all. The masks are off. The polite racism, the fake allyship, the colorblind lies, it's all gone. Now we see it raw and unfiltered. You're not just targeting policy, you're targeting people. Black people, brown people, marginalized communities. And the wild part, we make up the smallest portion of this country, yet somehow we are the biggest threat to the lie that white supremacy built. That should tell you everything. You're afraid not of violence, not of replacement, but of the power we hold even when we have nothing.
Trump expected black people to fill in those positions that the illegal immigrants or the immigrants were doing in the fields. I can tell you, Mr. President, that is not fucking happening. We are not going back in the field. You could get that out your mind. You and all your Republican buddies, it's not happening. So you need to come up with a better solution for your shortage of staff. You can't pay us enough. We've been there. We've done that. Not happening. You need to figure out how to work out a path to citizenship for all these hard-working immigrants that do want to work in this country. Because there are lots of people that comes into this country that honestly want to work. Not all immigrants that's here, whether they're here legal or illegally, want to commit crime or do commit crime. Statistically proven, you have more homegrown assault on this country than anything else. Mass shooting for one. You understand? So you need to figure out something. But black people, we're not the solution to that. We're not going back. And I believe if for some reason that was ever attempted, you're going to have a fight on your hands. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
Comment sections exploded. Videos started going viral. People from every corner of social media began calling out what they say was years of hypocrisy.
Black America, I need for y'all to stand down. Sit down. Don't get up. Don't go nowhere. Don't do nothing. Let these people finish handling their business out here in these streets. Because these people, they are not playing fair and they coming for us anyway. So we need to let them people handle this business of getting their people out the way. Because they coming for us. We know that. That's their sole intention, is to come and get us. I know y'all ain't seen me for a minute. Brother been under the weather and you can hear it in my voice. But listen, man, I need y'all to chill out. Don't make no moves. Don't be out there in them streets with them rallies and them protests and all that, because all they want to do is catch us out there. And once they catch us out there, all hell is going to break loose. So stay your behind at home, watch you some TV, get your exercise on, drink you some water. I know my sister's chilling. Brothers, I need y'all to chill too, because they coming for us. The man just had the whole database, the whole police database of misconduct wiped. I told y'all, when y'all hired a criminal, expect criminal activities. When you put a natural born criminal in the White House and you don't expect criminal activities to happen, y'all crazy. Y'all are out y'all freaking mind. Now they've been out there talking about where Kamala at, where Obama at. You know, they chilling. We don't need them to move.
Listen to me. Racism is the poison in Arkansas soil. That's right, racism. Last week, hundreds of Arkansas farmers stood in a room and broke down in prayer in front of their elected officials. They weren't praying for rain, guys. They weren't praying for sunshine. They weren't even praying for a bumper crop. They were praying because their farms, their family land, their way of life is collapsing under tariffs and trade wars. And here's the truth. Those tariffs, that trade war, that whole playbook was born out of racism. Farmers were told the story that punishing foreigners would make America strong again. They were told to clap when leaders wagged their finger at China, Mexico, or whoever else they decided was the villain of the week. They were told it was patriotism, but really it was racism dressed up in red, white, and blue, and farmers bought it. They cheered it. They co-signed it. And now they are the ones paying the bill. Look at soybeans. Without tariffs, U.S. beans leaving New Orleans are cheaper than Brazil. But with tariffs, suddenly Brazil is winning. And who did that? Not God, not nature, not fate, your own leaders waving a racist flag and calling it strength. And the farmers who clapped for it are now on their knees begging for help. This isn't the first time. History is packed with proof that racism bankrupts the very people it fuels.
Saying the same jobs people claimed were being taken are now sitting empty while crops are rotting under the sun.
Hey, my black people, I'm gonna tell you what it is. You see, they putting a stop on food stamps for November, but you ain't seen it like worldwide news. But let it have been mostly black people on food stamps, it'd be breaking news everywhere. But see, now the statistics that came out that show that mostly white people are on government assistance. By me saying that, we can't fight for y'all. Y'all gonna say, oh, we cut the food stamps off. But then they gonna say, what about black people? What you mean, what about black people? By law, Trump done told y'all the benefits that y'all are receiving, it wasn't for migrants. It wasn't for migrants. It wasn't for freed white people. It was for the descendant of slaves. Those benefits was for. But since the government said we're not going to help one particular group, they've been doing it. We're going to say we're going to pass this bill for all people. And since all people are, since the government made it for all people, because all white people didn't fight through slavery. You feel me? All white people didn't fight through the Jim Crow era. All white people did not fight with the Black Panthers during that time to get those bills passed. So now white people sitting back. I'm gonna tell you why white people sitting back, y'all. Because they're waiting for black people to say, oh yeah. They always wait for us to fight their battles. Don't fight their battles this time. If Trump let that shit cut off, let it get cut off. Because we've been struggling. We bologna, oodles and noodles, Vienna winnings, canned sardines, canned tuna. We've been eating shit like that since we've been young.
It's official.
It is official. Baby, no food stamps for November. And people are officially crashing out. They say, due to the shutdown, no food stamps. No food stamps for November. And you know November is Thanksgiving. So you mean to tell me President Trump and Republicans, you mean to tell me that these people who never receive food stamps is not going to be able to get food stamps for the month of November, which is an actual holiday? Not just it's a holiday, it's the fact that people need their food, and that's their only way to buy food. So that's what y'all doing now? That's what y'all doing? That these kids not gonna have anything to eat? So that's what we doing? Okay.
And just when the backlash reached its peak, more creators jumped in, breaking down exactly why this labor crisis didn't happen overnight.
The level of determination that has been dedicated to try to ensure that Black Americans do not thrive is not by accident. And that is the reason why Black farmers are being shut out again. While the Trump administration rolls out financial lifelines for white farmers, Black farmers are being left out, overlooked, and pushed closer to extinction. And if it weren't for people like John Boyd Jr. sounding the alarm, this story would stay buried in the soil. Let's talk about history. Black farmers once owned 14% of United States farmland. Today, less than 1.3%. How, Sway? I'll tell you. Generational land theft, discriminatory USDA policies, and a long history of being denied access to the very tools white farmers receive as default. And now, in 2025, the Trump administration is doubling down, offering federal farm credits, subsidies, and contracts almost exclusively to white farmers. And they're doing it in broad daylight. John Boyd Jr. has entered the chat.
Government assistance was made for white people. The fact that the programs were made in like 1935, like in the 1930s, says it all right there, given the fact that Black people were not even considered people under the law at that time. But I've really been doing some more research and reading, and I read an article, they were talking about how like up until like the 60s or 70s, Black people really could not qualify for government assistance. And that is absolutely disheartening, being that now, it hasn't even been 100 years later, that Black people are now the face of all racial stereotypes regarding government assistance in Section 8. Meanwhile, these same programs were never even made for us.
I'm just gonna say what everyone is thinking. I don't care that you're losing your food stamps. I don't care that you're losing your free medical. I don't care that you are losing your free housing. Now y'all are just getting a taste of what every other person is going through. I should not have to pay to feed you and your 9 children. I'll be the selfish one. My kid comes first in my eyes, not you.
Some pointed to wages, others pointed to working conditions, and many reminded people that immigrant workers have been the backbone of American agriculture for decades.
My food stamps went from $4,400 in food stamps every month to $38. What am I supposed to get with $38 with 6 kids?
Hey, you know, one more thing about that farm thing. Those farmers complaining about how the Trump's trade war is hurting farms. And not just China, even though China no longer buys U.S. beef, that's gone to Brazil. They no longer buy U.S. soybeans. They don't buy a bunch of other agricultural products from us because they can source them elsewhere. And these farmers are all over these apps whining and crying that they didn't think it would hurt them. And please, Mr. Trump, I voted for you 3 times, and all this kind of bootlicking kind of BS. The other thing about that is, like I said in my other video, excuse me, there's a particular relationship, Black people and farms in this country, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. The other thing is, do you remember during the Biden-Harris administration, their administration worked out a settlement with Black farmers to pay them back pay for excluding them from bailout money that they were entitled to. The money only went to white farmers, and so Black farmers, that's the way it is in this country, had to sue to get their fair share. And after years of court wrangling in the courts and everything, it was finally settled and black farmers were going to get their due. Sorry, my allergies. And you know why they didn't get their due? Sorry about that. Because white farmers sued to block the government settlement that they had made with black farmers. And white farmers sued saying that the white farmers, were being discriminated against for not getting some of the black settlement money. The black settlement money was because only white farmers got some of the initial bailout money, not black farmers. That's how twisted it is.
Now, farmers from states like Idaho, Arkansas, California, and Oklahoma are openly admitting what many people warned about from the very beginning.
So Trump finally did it. He finally said it out loud. He went on CNBC and said that undocumented immigrants are naturally better at farm labor than other people. Not trained, not experienced, not hardworking, naturally. He's admitting that the same people that his immigration policies are targeting, the ones that he wants detained, deported, and banned, they're the backbone of the farming industry. He says you can't replace them, that inner city people aren't doing the work. Inner city people. Okay.
White people will never leave black people alone, and I'm gonna tell you why. White society's obsession with black people isn't new, it's centuries old. If you think about slavery, colonialism, and exploitation, from the start, white wealth in America was built off the backs of black bodies. Sugar, cotton, tobacco, rice. This wasn't just economics, it was a system where white people's very identity was shaped around controlling and owning and watching black bodies. But here's the wild contradiction in all of this, right? While trying to dehumanize us, white culture has always been obsessed with us, right? They copied our music, our style, our language, our food, even our rhythm, all while denying us basic rights. Think about jazz and rock and hip hop and fashion, all born out of black genius, only to be taken, watered down, and sold back to the world with a white face on.
Finding workers isn't just difficult. For some farms, it's becoming nearly impossible.
Wait, you mean to tell me Americans don't want to pick lettuce for $2 an hour? No. Now the farmers are crying because they can't find any workers. Ain't that something? After you pushed out all of the immigrant workers who actually did the job, now you're standing around wondering why Chet and Kaylee won't come pick your cabbage in 100-degree weather for $4.75 and a Capri Sun? Y'all really thought folks were going to jump at the chance to break their backs for pennies on a dollar.
And after these clips started spreading online, the reactions got even louder. So the big question now is, was America ever ready to replace the workers it pushed out? Or is this exactly the consequence people tried to warn them about? Let's look at what everybody is saying.